Good day, everyone. This will be a video log for September 5th or 6th? 6th, 2025. It was a Saturday. It was a pretty solid day. I'm going to put my hair up while I talk. So we got to my brother's wedding grounds last night, drove up, and he told us where to park our car and stuff, and then where to set up our tent and everything. So we did all that, and it was pretty nice area, honestly, in the dark. So it was like a camping ground with like this cabin, and there was like a fireplace on like this. So you pull down, and there's a field on the right, and then like a cabin on the left. So that was like the house of the place, and then so in the field was like my brother's mom and stepdad's like RV, and then there was like a campfire and like all these chairs around the campfire where people were chilling, and we set up like a little bit past the campfire. And so we slept till probably like 8 in the morning, and Corey came and woke us up, and got dressed and stuff, and went over to have breakfast. And they were making it like in front of the cabin. They had like it was like bacon, eggs, sausage, and I want to say like biscuits and gravy, or like pancakes or something like that. But I mean, I only had the bacon, sausage, and eggs. And then oh yeah, we stood around having breakfast for probably like an hour, like half an hour to an hour or so, and just like talking with everyone. So it's like my brother's side of the family, so it's all the people I know, and then it's Chris's side of the family, so all these people who I'm like, these people are gorgeous. Like everyone in her family is so pretty for some reason, even her dad, which is crazy. And I think it was like her grandparents' cabin that they were setting everything up, and so yeah, they like made everyone food, and then we were all eating, and then my grandparents got there with my mom, and then my aunt and uncle got there with our cousin Bryson, who I didn't know was gonna be there. Bryson's super cool. And yeah, so we were all like standing around talking, and then they made an announcement where like, basically like, thank you to Chris's parents for letting us use the place, whatever. And then we're like, we're gonna start getting set up. So yeah, and then after that, it was honestly probably like 5 hours of, well, from 9 to 12 for first was like 3 hours of literally just maybe almost 4 hours of like miscellaneous tasks. So like we went into this little like shed they had at the back, and pulled out all this decoration stuff for the like aisle that they were walking down, like the archway and the benches and everything. And then we were setting up the like drink place, so there's a whole bunch of like liquor stuff we had to grab, on liquor and beer, and then like setting up the beer ice buckets, whatever you want to call them. And then we were like setting up the tables with the tablecloths, and then we were setting up we like, oh, what else was there? We were setting up something. Oh, the table decorations. There was like literally a box full of table decorations. So we were all setting that up, and then I look over at a time when there's like nothing to do really, and my mom and my cousin Mallory are like sitting there messing with something, and I like, looked over at my wife and was just like, those are our people. Let's go help them. And so we go over, and Mallory is showing us how to like wrap a jar in like it was like a cloth strip, I guess, like a thin cloth strip. And so you'd like do it in some certain way, and then when you pulled it up, it like wrapped around the edge of the jar and like did like cross section on the bottom, so it was like a sturdy way to hold something. And we ended up putting flowers in those on the walkway. It was really, really cool. And then yeah, after that we were all like, okay, we're gonna sit around and chat for a while, and then we're gonna break for lunch. So went and broke for lunch. Ava and I went and got McDonald's, and then we changed for the wedding in the McDonald's bathroom, which I thought was hilarious. And then yeah, so we like went to the bathroom looking like hobos, came out all snazzy, whatever, and then got a burger to go, and headed back to the wedding grounds, and everyone was just chilling for a little while. And then all the bridal party, like the groomsmen and like all the guys, were all dressed up in their nice clothes, and so I like hung out with them, and we all did a shot of, I want to say Jameson. It was terrible, bro. It was awful. Burned a little bit. And then, but it was a really nice moment just hanging out with the boys. And then they were smoking cigars, so I puffed on a cigar with them a bit. And then Kade was all dressed up. He had this orange corduroy suit jacket and pants that was so sick. It was so cool. And then he like went down. So it's like you go from the cabin all the way down past like where the wedding is, and then there's like the edge of a creek. And so they were gonna do like the first look, right? So he's like looking towards the creek, just like waiting for his wife. And then all the groomsmen are just like watching. All the bridesmaids are inside getting ready, and we like see the wedding dress come out, and it's Kade's best friend Minji, literally just like big old dude walking, and he like full wedding dress was so funny. He like did the first look, and Kade picked him up. It was so funny, dude. I hope they got good photos of it. But then yeah, he went back inside, and then Carissa was out, like not in full dress, just like watching Minji do it. It was her idea to do that, which was so funny to me. And then so they did the first look, and it was beautiful, bro. My brother was literally like sobbing, and they were both crying. It was really sweet. And then they like came back and like had a bit of like talked with us about something, and basically like went over like where we're gonna be sitting and everything. And then Kate and Carissa stepped back behind the thing to like share their vows privately, which they were crying the whole time. I'm sure they were gorgeous. And then we were all just hanging out waiting for the ceremony. So everyone went and got seated, and then yeah, it was like one of the most beautiful things ever. Kate's stepdad Steve like officiated. It was so sweet, dude. And yeah, so it was like I was literally like front row because family or whatever, right? And then it was like Chris's family on the other side, and we had like my brother sitting behind. We had other like family sitting like in the second row, and then everyone else was in the other rows. And then yeah, I literally I cry at every wedding, dude. The other wedding I've talked about on the channel, I cried like a baby. But it's like literally right when the bridesmaids and the groomsmen start walking down, I'm like, okay, my eyes are leaking. I don't know why this is happening. And then yeah, Steve did like a beautiful speech and was like so happy to be here for you, Kate, all this stuff. And then Kate and Carissa shared like really, really brief vows. And then they had Cade and Chris's dog Zion run up the aisle with the rings and on like his collar. I thought it was so cute, and I'm literally just sitting there like, no, it's cool, it's cool. And then what else was there? There was right after that we broke and took a bunch of photos, like tons of photos, like family photos. So it was like I was in the photo with like all the brothers and stuff, and then after that we walked over and like picked out seats at the wedding tables and that we had decorated earlier, and we got ready to eat. They were like cooking food. We could smell it, and we were like hungry, and so we were like getting drinks and stuff, like water. There was like a weird lemonade they had for a little while, and there was like lemon water they had, both pretty good. And then went ahead and like sat down, got they were like steak kebabs, I think, and then there was like jambalaya rice, baked beans, and then trying to think if there was something else. There was like two different types of salad, both of which were actually pretty good. And then yeah, we chowed down for a little while, and after eating, I was like, I'm so exhausted, and so I kind of told Anna like it was starting to get dark, and I was like, if I'm driving, because our plan was to leave at 3 a.m. that night, like get a little bit of a nap. So I was like, if I'm gonna be driving, I'm gonna go nap really, really quickly. So I like went to the tent and napped, and then as it like started getting a little bit more darker, I was like, darker, whatever. As it dark and darker, the video game, as it like started getting darker, I heard people like giving speeches to Cade, and I could like hear him pretty clearly from my tent. And then at one point it was so funny. Cade was just like, I have four brothers and no one's gonna give a speech. So our youngest brother Corey got up and gave a speech. I'm sure it was amazing. And then I slept for probably like an hour before Ava called me, and we just like come back. And then they were doing like a dance floor, so we got on the dance floor. That was pretty cool. And then yeah, it was really nice. And then after the dance floor, we were getting ready to leave. My mom was like, "Okay, we're ready to go," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So we walk over and we brought gifts for Cade, and there was a picture of my dad and a quilt that my mom had made, and so my mom was like, "Hey, are you gonna like open that gift?" And Cade was like, "Oh my god, Chris, I completely forgot." And he was like, "I'll make time for it right now." He was like, "I got time, let's do it." And so he walks over with us, and it was like on like the where you sign the thing, the guest list or whatever. And so he walks over, and the picture of our dad is like facing the other way, so he like walks around it and like shine the light on it, And he was like, oh, Chris, you didn't. And he like grabs it out of it and looks at it, and he just had like a really open, vulnerable, emotional moment with us. Because our dad passed away in 2018, so he just had like a really open, vulnerable moment of just like, there's not a minute that goes by that I do not think of this man. And he was like, there's everything I do has something to do with how he did things. And he was like, I thank you, Chris. Thank you for this. And he like pulls out the quilt, and Chris's dad, stepdad, question mark, comes over and like helps Kade hold the quilt, and he's like looking at it, and it's like a blue quilt, and it's got all these pictures of houses on it, and they're multicolored houses. And he was just like, I will literally use this forever. Thank you. Like, seriously, thank you, Chris. And just like gave her a big old hug, and then we headed out and like broke down the tent and everything. And then headed back to my grandparents' Airbnb in Priest Falls, Idaho. And then we ended up passing out there, and my mom had texted me at like midnight or so and was just like, leave at 5 instead of 3. And so I woke up at 3, like my alarm said, saw that text, and was just like, I could sleep. So I slept a little bit longer till 5, woke everyone up, and then we headed out. And that'll be a video log for tomorrow because there was more we did that day. But yeah, absolute highlight was just Kade sharing a really open, vulnerable moment. I thought that was so emotionally mature and like deeply, deeply appreciated. And I just like, I am such a surface level person sometimes with my emotions, where it's like, if I'd gotten a picture of my dad, I'd been like, oh, sick, a picture of my dad, you know? And he just took it to such a deep level so quickly that I was just like, I so admire that. You know, like I so deeply respect that. And I thought it was so, so cool of him. And I really was glad we got that moment. Like I don't think my mom expected that, but it was literally the best reaction that she could have ever hoped for in giving that picture of our dad to Kade. And I thought it was absolutely incredible. So, yeah, I'm happy to share it with you all. I hope you all had a wonderful Saturday. And, yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.